All right, everybody. Come in today to show you what I did, how we did it. Um, let's see. Missy, go lay down. Uh, into Jesus and 12, 11. Okay. 45. All right. So we had our grid up and we had gone back through this fair value gap, closed above, and we hit this uh, inverted fair value gap. And what I was seeing on the 15-minute was that for over an hour, we could not get uh, past the midline, and the bodies really did not want to even close inside uh, the inverted fair value gap. So at 9:30, I was looking for shorts. Um, and we got our first one here. I was um, a little hesitant because we were bouncing between two DRT levels and two pivot points, a daily and a weekly. Um, so I wasn't real sure, but then we made this fair value gap right here. Um, and we pushed up into it twice here, and then we finally broke below and had a close below uh, this pivot point. Okay. Um, I think that got moved a little bit because I did not get stopped out. Uh, yeah, actually, my original was up here. Um, I don't know how that got moved. Maybe because uh, I was in and out partially of the trade. But anyway, so my risk was up here. I figured if it hit that twice, got two sell wicks. If it broke higher than that, which was right at the 50% mark of this fair value gap, then it was probably just going to reverse, and this would be manipulation below range to go higher. So had my stop, got into two minis here. I think that's probably why I moved it because once we had this push up and we had a sell wick on off of the nine, uh, they closed. Okay, that works. No, I didn't add. That was already in two minis. We were close to here. Um, then we broke below, and there was a point in here that I went ahead and locked in for. Enough, guys. Damn. So there was enough room. Let me just move this over so we can see what's going on. There was enough room in here. It got to an $800 profit. I saw the flat bottom right here. It pushed up. It probably came to the midline, came back down, but couldn't break the low. That's probably where I locked in my $400. Okay. Um, and then we pushed up and we hit the 21 and we came back down and closed on a color change. Um, what I considered below the nine. Okay. I added again here. So I was in two minis until here. Push up, took one mini off, push up, color change, added another mini for two minis there. Um, and it pushed down. I was looking to get to this DRT level right above the open. But as soon as I added and this candle pushed down, I went ahead and moved my stop once we were below this pivot point, the 7.5. Went ahead and moved my stop just above that candle. Because I was looking for just another one candle push down to this pivot point before pulling back, right? Well, that didn't happen. So it came back and it stopped me out for $400 in profit. That gave me $800 on the day. Now I posted that trade in the Discord, um, and I said I was done for the day. But all of this was showing indecision in the market after that, right? We couldn't really displace above uh, the midline. We couldn't really displace below it. I mean, some of this displacement would have, if I'd gotten into shorts here, definitely would have stopped me out. And in fact, a few of the people on Tradeify TV were getting stopped out on some of their trades in this area. So then we came down and, geez, my desk is falling apart in my truck. Um, we came down and we made this triple bottom. Okay, at the 7.5, we got the bullish 180 here. I was driving. I did not get into this trade because I didn't want to try to manage it. And what I noticed on this was it just didn't look right. Something wasn't right about this push up because look at the size of all of our candles. Even in consolidation, we had pretty good sized candles, and this push up was nothing but a bunch of really small 1 minute candles. Okay. So when I saw that, I was still driving, but I went ahead and placed a limit order just below these two double tops, which would get me into this fair value gap. This was the first fair value gap made on the 1 minute chart at the open. My thinking here was these are the original sellers that pushed us all the way down. Let's see if they defend their position. So I put a limit order in there. I put my stop uh, just below, which probably wasn't a good idea, just below this pivot point, this uh, DRT level, which I probably really should have been above that and closer to the top of the fair value gap beginning. But I just figured if it did more than just rebalance at the bottom of this wick, then it was probably going to go up and take liquidity from these here and get into equilibrium. So I put that trade on and I was just looking for a quick, this was 3 micros. I didn't put on too many, just 3 micros. I didn't want to risk very much of what I had already made. And I was just looking for $100 to $200. I was hoping for 200 um, to make $1,000 on the day. Okay. And lo and behold, my target was just the previous lows here at the bodies. We came down. I mean, that candle was like a 2, 3 second candle, came down but did not hit target. And then when we pushed all the way back up to the midline, I thought I was screwed. Um, and then it came down, or it came down first. I can't remember. Smacked it and then went up. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. Um, we went right back to that level again, made a double top, and down she went. Um, we went and we grabbed liquidity below the DRT levels. Now, I'm not moving the DRT levels because none of this liquidity grab uh, over here, and I'm sure if I move it to the 4 hour, we'll see the same thing, certainly. None of this liquidity grab, the run on these sell side stops, closed below the DRT level. Okay. So our DRT level is still in play. But of course, then you saw we went right back up. We actually got outside of the indicator for that liquidity sweep and then came right back in. And when we came in, we went straight to midline, chop around for a little while, and then up to the top. Okay. And then we bounced off the top and we ended the day. So these were not, uh, these were basically fair value gap plays. The opening range breakout, this wasn't a 5 minute breakout. This was a 1 minute breakout play. um, because I figured whichever uh, pivot point was closed below with some strength, then that's where I would be. That's the direction I wanted to go. It didn't take a very big move for me to make that $800. Obviously, this was kind of luck. It was right when Trump started talking about Jay Powell, and the market just tanked for a moment. So, yeah, but yeah, it was ready to tank anyway. It was ready to go. And I said yesterday at the end of the day that we could definitely come back down and take more of this sell side before moving up. And that's exactly what we did today. Uh, we do have some more down here. But again, if we broke through this, if we were looking for inefficiencies, this is our next inefficiency down here. And that's not out of the question. You know, we rejected equilibrium on the last 4 hour candle at this inverted fair value gap. So none of this, it's been rebalanced. So it's basically balanced price range now because it's been run through 3 times. So we'll change that to balanced price range and we'll leave it there. We'll see what price does with this balanced price range through the overnight. So, you know, and this is now an inverted fair value gap. So we'll have to see how that plays in. Uh, so we're kind of stuck between balanced price range and inverted gap. So let's see what the overnight does with it, if it gives us any indications. If not, uh, we'll see what the New York market brings. Um, since I had my DRT levels on the 4 hour already done, I was actually watching the 15-minute because what I want to see is where are the gaps being made uh, at the important DRT levels, right? So if you look at the chart from the open, uh, you know, we went down uh, at 3 o'clock. No, that was yesterday. Where am I at? 15. We're on the 16th. Okay. So the 16th, we opened up on the 16th. Asia made its low. London went down and made the double bottom down here, or triple bottom, or quadruple bottom, down at the bottom of range. Immediately went up. Um, and in the open, we came down, we swiped that liquidity, and we moved up. And we did have a market structure shift here. Now we could come down to the middle of this inverted into this gap here. Um, but this gap happens right at the 75 DRT. So I think we may come down, tap the gap, but not actually uh, get down in there very far. Um, and then bounce back up to get back above equilibrium. Now, we equilibrium could hold, and this DRT level could get down here and close somewhere on the 4 hour, and then we'd have to extend the DRT level. So everything is possible. We're right at equilibrium, which I really don't want to trade. I would rather see this push up uh, into premium pricing, say the 2.5, and then fall over and come take the lows if that's what it's going to do. Because we do have our breakaway gap that happened at 9:30 this morning, which was the first 1 minute gap. That gap was made and it was never retested. Okay. And it happened right at the 2.5 level. So that's our breakaway gap. Um, if we get close to this gap again, which we shouldn't, then we're probably looking to go take highs again. Um, but I would like to see us come up, maybe hit this order block at the 2.5. That's something I'm going to be watching tomorrow if we get up in that area. Yeah, this order block here is what I would be uh, looking at. Okay. Um, and that's going to give you about a 7.5 retrace uh, from the lows down here. Okay. Which we've already hit, but we did take liquidity. We could move all the way back up towards uh, the 6.2 or 7.0 uh, and see what happens there, right? Uh, so we have had a pretty good move up. One consolidation, two consolidation. See what happens here. But yeah, um, it was a pretty easy day. And as soon as I hit that $1,000 mark on this trade, just because of the way price had been acting, I just called it a day there for $1,000. Certainly wasn't looking for much more. I probably could have made a whole lot more had I been paying attention and trading for this liquidity sweep and the push back up. Um, but I'm not worried about it. I made my money today. We're at $3,000 profit for 2 days worth of trading. I think that's pretty good. We'll see what the rest of the week brings, and then finish off next week with this system on a paper account before we put it into play on any evals. But so far, this is really, really working out very nicely. Um, wow, what a shoot back, right? I mean, you come down, you're swiping sell side liquidity, you hit this double pivot point, you immediately go back and invert the gap. You could enter there, risking the pivot points, and take off for the rest of the day, right? That's just crazy. Why are all these big ass gaps over here at 1250? Did we come back and clean those up? I don't think we did. No. That's really weird. I've never actually seen ES gap like that in the middle of the day. Um, Very strange. Anyway, uh, all right. I'm gonna call it a day. I gotta go take a nap for a few hours and then get up and drive till early in the morning, and then go to bed. So I may not be trading at the open in the morning, but I will take a look at it when I do get up, and getting ready for work to see if there's any trades available at the time. So 2 good days in a row doesn't make a profitable trader, but it sure does feel good uh, when you feel like you're reading the market correctly. So see everybody tomorrow. Have a great one.